We're back! We are here. It is a beautiful Tuesday evening. We are here on a Tuesday. Shout out to the Yankees for delaying us a day. And also going to the ALCS. We'll have a date. We'll have a date with Houston starting tomorrow. It's a great series. Sorry to the Cleveland Guardians fans that are going to be tuning in, Ryan. But yeah, it was a great series, and I think we had a great NASCAR race on Sunday too. Las Vegas, proven to be one of the best mile and a halves again and again in these last couple of years. Las Vegas was fun. Joey Logano locks himself into the Final Four, but that is not the biggest topic of conversation. Early in the race, right in the beginning of Stage 2, after Bubba Wallace won Stage 1, Kyle Larson sends it in 3 wide and puts Bubba Wallace into the wall. Bubba hooks a left down the front stretch and retaliates, and then walks over and tries to beat him up. So, what are our thoughts on this Bubba Wallace incident? NASCAR came out today and announced that he will be suspended for the Homestead Miami race. No fine, no points penalty, just a 1-race suspension. So what are our thoughts on this whole thing? It is a wild, wild event.
Honestly, if you look at it, the 1-race suspension is maybe kind of a gift because they could have come out with a 1,500 point penalty, and that would have been worse than
1,500
race. No, 50 to 100, 50 or 100.
Oh, okay. So 1,500.
Because
wow, that put me negative till next season
because they're not giving out more than 50 points in a single race, for a driver. So I mean, honestly, I think this is probably best case scenario for him. No fine. I was kind of surprised by that. But the whole situation is just wild.
It is.
I mean, Larson putting him in the wall. Yeah, Bubba should have been upset. But I'm never gonna vouch for a guy going and right rearing somebody on a straightaway, especially on a fast track like Vegas.
170.
Yeah. But it's kind of a product of the racing in this car. Larson being aggressive. But it was wild.
Sal, Tegan, what do you guys think?
I'll let you go, Sal.
All right. I mean, yeah, that was crazy. I mean, who knows what exactly broke because I mean, it looked like he got into the wall pretty good. So with the way these cars are, you have to imagine like a toe link or something broke. But that was uncalled for what he came back and did. Then the pushing and all that, also uncalled for. Like what Weasel said, the race suspension, I feel like most people probably saw it coming. What really surprised me is nothing else, no money, no points, nothing. So that was kind of interesting to see they didn't come out with. And I mean, as much as it also affected Christopher Bell, in a way, I'm sure there are many people out there thankful that he was passing when he did, because if not, I think we're sitting here talking about Larson being out there.
Possible injuries.
Yeah.
Because he was backing into the wall if it went for that 20 car, kind of shoving him sideways a little bit to flush it up. So, I don't know. I saw the penalty coming. I feel like it's the same thing with Noah. I think a lot of it was based off outside talk about it. I do agree with it. I just hope it doesn't set too much of a precedent, because I do like a little bit of not using the cars as weapons, but let's be honest. How long has NASCAR been a sport? They've always used the cars to get revenge. Yeah,
definitely.
It's part of the deal, but
not on a track like that, though. I don't think that's safe.
No, it was stupid, and even on a track like that, you can do it under yellow. I mean, hell, they let Byron get away with it. It's doing it at a high-speed track, and after so many drivers have made comments in the last 10 weeks about the safety of these cars, and you want to go out there and put somebody in jeopardy like that. And to be honest, Kyle Larson didn't touch him. He just got loose and pushed him up. He didn't touch him.
He didn't touch him, but
I watched
Kyle
the replay
Larson's
today.
not in that position. 23
Yeah.
is not. I mean, 45 is not hitting the wall
No.
that hard. Like,
No,
not even close.
but-
Kyle Larson
but he-
definitely kind of pushed him up into the wall. Like, there may not have been contact, but that's still a push into the wall. It's the same
it's
thing
not
with
really a
with
push. It might
No,
be air, or unless he moved up on his own.
It's the same thing that happened with Chastain and Hamlin at Pocono. Hamlin kind of put him in a position to where he was going to have to wreck himself, and that's basically exactly what happened in this situation.
Which you understand for the Hamlin-Chastain situation, but you don't understand why Kyle Larson would make a move like that on lap 50, especially when they're both out of the playoffs.
You're acting like he made a bad move. He just got loose. You can't.
That was
it ain't
an
like he went there with
aggressive
intent.
move at that point in the race.
I mean, not really. He just drove it in and it didn't stick. It's no different than the car getting loose.
I thought he
when you're racing.
was so talented, though.
He might be talented, but this car is different. We know this car does not.
I thought
It's
he's
not
the best
predictable.
driver in the world. The best driver in the world's not going to lose control trying to make a pass.
Hey, you and your problems with the Kyle Larson fan base is your issue, Mike.
No,
Don't bring it into the podcast.
He's the best driver in the world. You know, he right hooks Justin Haley down the straightaway at the LA Coliseum. He fences Kurt Busch at Talladega. He wrecks Chase at Auto Club, moves him out of the way at Watkins Glen. Best driver in the world, though. Eliminates himself from the playoffs. Hey, he's the best. He's awesome. Look,
I'm just
you know how much I like him? Hold on. You know how much I like him? I like him so much. Give me 1 second.
You riled him up.
What is this guy doing?
I like him so much. I even got something to commemorate how much I like him. Look at this.
Are you gonna take a hammer to it? Is that from
No,
Watkins
actually-
Glen already? Is that?
No,
are you gonna
it's
buy
not.
that one?
That's
No,
his championship one.
Yeah.
Buy the
Look at this.
Watkins
He's
Glen
so-
car for
He's
us.
so good. Look at this. Look at all the confetti because he's the best driver in the world. That's best driver in the world confetti right there. And look, he had a best driver in the world burnout. It's cool. I think he's getting a big head, if you ask me.
I don't think that's it. If he had a big head, he would have took a fucking swing at fucking Bubba.
Be fair.
Yeah,
he's not going to take a shot at Bubba. You know how small
Bubba's
Larson
gonna
is.
kick
He's
his
not
ass.
doing shit to Bubba Wallace.
That's like me trying
you
to
was
fight
quick on
Incock.
the think, you would fucking, as soon as he got on that one knee, fucking deck his damn eyes out.
That's like me
All it
trying to
would've
fight
took.
Incock. It's not going to happen.
Hey,
I'm not
the
gonna
bigger
fight
they are,
him.
the harder they fall. We all got nuts. It's dirty, but
So this entire situation between Bubba and Larson has kind of made me reflect back on the whole Denny and Chastain thing, and this kind of gives me a whole new respect for how Denny Hamlin has kind of handled the situation with Ross Chastain. He hasn't really come out and wrecked him at all.
Not yet.
and it's irritating that people are comparing.
He's
the two.
been intimidating the shit out of him. He really has.
Yes.
Think about it. Almost any time that Chastain is on the outside of Hamlin, he kind of backs out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's kind of something that Dale Earnhardt built his name on, the Intimidator. So, I mean, maybe something like
wreck you.
that, I mean, would have probably been better.
I don't think Bubba's got that in him.
Wessel, what are your thoughts on Larson? I know you've had some opinions.
I mean, he is one of the top tier drivers in the sport.
I agree.
I think he might be driving over his
he
That's
is
what I'm
driving
Cars
sometimes
ability.
because I don't think his car's been good this year. I really don't. I don't think his car's been that
No.
good. The only really good Hendrick car this year has been Chase, and then in the
And he's had a
playoff,
bad
Not here
playoff.
recently though.
but yeah, he was not good at Vegas. But I would say so far in the playoffs, I think Byron's probably been the best Hendrick car.
Yeah.
And
Even Bowman
I mean,
to the point where before he got injured.
yeah, before he got hurt, Bowman was doing pretty well too. But I
Wow.
honestly, I
Never
don't
thought
think
I'd
at
hear that.
any point in the year that I don't think the 5 has been the fastest Hendrick car at any point this year.
No.
So I think he's
'Cause
kind of
his two-
over his head a little
His
bit.
two
trying
wins
to
are
get
wrecking
more
his
out of it.
teammate or moving his teammate out of the way. So, yeah. I just think that I think that there's so many people out there that are calling him the best driver in the world. He had that incredible run, winning so many dirt races, and then going out in a cup season and winning 10 races. That's one of the most impressive years from a racer that we've ever seen. And I think that he's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's starting to, he's untucking his shirt. He's like, all right, I'm cool now. Like, I'm Kyle fucking Larson. Let's go. And I think he thinks that he can make moves that maybe he can't make.
No,
but
Mike, you're saying that because you are a Chase Elliott fan. Admit it.
I mean,
that's the only reason why you're saying it.
He
started,
but Haley,
and you wonder what's wrong with your fan base. Y'all was toxic as shit.
I'm just saying that Kyle Larson, I think, needs to get a reality check.
I don't think he does. He's not driving because he thinks he's the fucking best. He might be over driving his fucking car's talent, but you're blaming it because he thinks he's fucking big dog in the yard now. Who
eliminated Kyle Larson from the playoffs?
Well, the caution did. Let's be honest.
Right.
Kyle Larson was set to go till the caution come out. And
also the appeal of the 24 penalty, which was bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not up to NASCAR, though. NASCAR did not make that decision.
No, but they made sure they changed the rule book so it wouldn't happen again.
Yeah. So do we think that the penalty for Bubba is fair? I like it. I just hope that they are set a precedent with this and they're consistent with it, because one thing NASCAR,
because they weren't a couple weeks ago. I understand it was under caution, but
that one got away
from them. Shit.
That one should have got caught during the race, and then it should have got taken care of at the end of the race. All they had to do was move him to the tail end of the freaking lead lap, and that would have taken care of it. They couldn't appeal it.
They didn't see it.
Oh, they're so full of shit. They saw it. They just didn't say they didn't.
100 cameras around the track. They didn't see it.
William Byron did what?
First week of in-car cameras too, by the way.
Yeah, right. In-car cameras.
That they set up.
Every car.
So do we think they got it right with Bubba's penalty? Because as I said, I think they need to start setting a precedent. They need to be consistent with things. It's
consistent with the situation. I don't want somebody getting the same penalty because they wrecked somebody doing 25 miles an hour or spun somebody out after the race was over. It's just stupidity. It's over. It's over. I mean, you don't want to pussyfy the sport to that level. You know.
I don't know. I saw some fans on Twitter. They were saying he should be banned from the sport.
Oh well, that's another toxic fan base.
So. If we banned every driver who intentionally wrecked somebody, there would not be a fucking NASCAR.
We know why they're saying that, and the
BJ McLeod
media, the social media reaction to this has been honestly kind of disgusting. Because Matt Kenseth,
I do feel like NASCAR takes that into account, though.
What?
Social media.
The social media outcry. I think that's what happened with Noah's penalty.
I don't know about that.
No, but I'm talking about the abuse hurled at Bubba Wallace. I mean,
and you know what? It sucks for Bubba because I feel like he made such strides after Kansas.
He wasn't doing. Yeah,
he's been doing.
He
really
proved
good
so much at Kansas, and he really just flushed that down the toilet with what happened.
But I mean, basically, isn't that what all Bubba Wallace haters are, or that crowd?
Well, even the Bubba Wallace haters gave him some credit for Kansas.
Come out of the closet and just berate him.
They really didn't,
and it was a good mistake. It was a mistake that he actually made. So
they didn't. They said he couldn't. He only had to take Kurt's car to win. Like, what does that mean?
I only saw that a few, and that was what? It's not so much anymore that them are actual legit comments. It's people trolling. And Mike, we know you and Matt love trolling.
It's genuinely not trolling.
Yeah,
I think it is.
I know. You don't understand how dumb these people are.
I heard a couple people reached out to McDonald's and DoorDash. So
somebody called. Here's how McDonald's. Here's how that call McDonald's went. They went like, "Your local McDonald's. How can I help you?" Listen, this Bubba guy's going way in over his head. He can't.
And you don't think that's trolling?
How can you encourage?
Somebody's not that dumb.
Somebody is that dumb.
There are people that dumb.
There are people dumb, but they're not that dumb.
People have Chase Elliott,
and that made it to Facebook and made it to Chase.
That dumb.
Man, leave Sal alone. I got that for his birthday. He deserved that. His girlfriend wouldn't let him have it, so I had to make sure he got it.
What?
Mike, stop it.
What did I do?
Hey, dude.
Hey, show us that. Okay. Get up and show us that Chase Elliott.
I'm not wearing it.
Oh man! So let's talk about Joey Logano. A really fun race overall.
Hell, I got Bubba Wallace underwear too. You want to see that?
Fun battle with Ross and Joey. I thought it was going to get a little more spicy than it was, but
it would have if he could through another block.
Exactly.
I think Joey was going to send his ass, and Joey would have actually had some cheers. I was rooting for Joey there at the end. I had never rooted so hard in my life for Joey Logano to win because I did not want Ross Chastain fucking winning his way into the Final Four.
People cheering for Joey winning or cheering that Ross Chastain did.
Exactly. Oh, no, I think he would have got some cheers for a while if he would have actually sent him like he did Matt Kansas at Kansas that one year.
People like Chastain, though.
I mean, yeah, people do, and it's just
they think he's like Dale Earnhardt.
Okay, now you definitely are full of shit.
I'm not.
You're in a trolling Facebook group.
People have made that comparison. After
exactly. No, people.
I'm the one that usually does that. I'm still waiting for somebody to knock his eye back straight.
I'm talking about Facebook people, okay? Like they think they're like, man, oh man, I'll tell you what, they ain't talked today like this. This is Ross.
So full of shit.
That boy Josh Berry.
I'm not full of shit.
See him on Sundays.
That boy Josh Berry, I tell you what, we're going to see him on Sundays real soon. Yeah, with fucking who? Rick Ware.
Like, Dale Jr. said it. I mean, Dale literally.
He's a fill-in driver for Cup people every once in a while. He did it with Spire. I mean, that's all Josh Berry's going to be doing.
I think
it would
be cool if he was a Cup driver. I think he's good.
I don't think
he's in the final
just at his age, it's a little too
fun.
late.
How old is he?
He's 31.
31.
I think he's 31.
I mean, 31's not terrible. I thought he was like.
It is a late start though, considering he's no junior for over 10 years now since iRacing, and it took this long to get him into Xfinity. Yeah, it's definitely a late start. It sucks, but it can be done. I don't think he's that damn good.
Didn't he have a couple starts? Like years before this,
I think so, but I don't think it's for junior. It was for some off. It was some off team with some shit equipment.
Yeah,
his first start with Junior Motorsports was last year.
It was in 2014. His first start was. He actually drove for JRM in 2014.
Was it?
In the number 5, finished 12th on the lead lap at Iowa, and then he returned for the Homestead race and finished 25th. Then he was back in 2015, finished 7th at Richmond. And then he raced in 2016. So he was around.
He was on it.
Not much. But
he just wasn't Jesus then because there's a lot of good drivers back then in Xfinity Series. Right. Now it's like a revolving door. Each driver gets their turn at the top, and then they get to go to Cup. Like AJ and Ty Gibbs and Noah Grexon. Like literally,
that's
3 of them.
What is the Xfinity Series going to be next year? Because AJ, Noah, and Ty Gibbs are all going to be gone.
I think Riley Herbst is finally going to have a chance.
Riley Herbst might have. I mean, honestly, I think we're going to look at guys like maybe Chandler Smith. I think he's coming up, right? Didn't they announce him?
Yeah, I think they're going
I think we'll probably see John Hunter on the Xfinity.
He'll definitely be. That's probably my championship pick.
But I mean, it's going to be that and like maybe Brandon Jones. I don't know.
Yeah,
Josh Brandon Jones don't prove that he can do it next year. He ain't going to do it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's actually that bad. I think
he's not that bad, but he's mid.
He's fine.
He's like Justin Allgaier. That's where he's going to stay. He's going to be an Xfinity driver for life.
I put Justin Allgaier over him, to be honest.
Justin Allgaier is an above-average Xfinity.
It's like Johnny Sauter,
but he's overall
Matt Crafton. They're Truck Series drivers for life.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier will never be a Cup driver, ever again. I mean, maybe like a one-off thing, but no.
Fill in.
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of ran away from Joey Logano, but he's in the Final Four. We wish Matt was here because Matt is Joey Logano's biggest.
Didn't we force him into making that change
I think
too?
So.
Because didn't he have Joey winning but had him out of the playoffs?
He had Byron winning but not making the Final Four, and I said that is impossible. But Joey Logano wins. He's in the Final Four, and you look back to 2018 when he made the Final Four. He won the first race of the round 8 and had 2 weeks to prepare and ended up winning the championship. So do you like it for the 22 team to be able to have that 2-week stretch to prepare for Phoenix?
I don't think it's as big as the advantage it used to be. Not with this car.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not with this car, but what was the stat that NBC said? 5 out of the last 10 championship winners, or 3 of the last 6. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was 3 of the last 6 won Vegas. 3 of the last 6 champions won Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, it depends on who makes it to the Final Four with him before I give him a legit shot at it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
As of right now, it's Logano. He's locked in. It's Chastain. It's Elliott, and it's Denny Hamlin. Do we think that stays the same, or do we think that changes?
I think somebody's going to get knocked out. That's going to be a shocker, and that only leaves it being Hamlin or Elliott. I think somebody gets knocked out because of shit luck or shit runs. I would love Chastain to get kicked out, but he's got a good, pretty point cushion.
I don't know.
Right now.
I think Chastain's pretty good. I mean, somebody's going to have to get him in Martinsville.
Unless somebody wrecks him or he wrecks himself at a Homestead, maybe running the wall or some shit.
I mean, he's only 1 point better than Elliott.
I've got a sneaky person that's been kind of like...
But Chase Elliott's been really slow.
Briscoe has been fucking sneaky good.
Yes, and he made up a lot of points for somebody that didn't get stage points. He's right there.
Pops out of nowhere at the end of the race.
Points too.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the races, he's taking it.
Like, whoa. Well, because I think I don't understand how crude by because you saw what happened with Justin Haley. I was screaming from the top of my roof that Sunday, Chase Elliott, take 2 tires, please. Get track position. Because Justin Haley was running around Chase Elliott all race. He took 2 tires, and he looked like the fucking Flash, okay? Like...
For a little bit, though. There, when they started passing him, he went backwards pretty quick.
He still finished way better than he would have if he didn't take 2 tires, you know? He was not going to finish where he did.
I just don't think Chase had the car.
Yeah,
I don't think they knew what to do with that car, to be honest.
Justin Haley did?
Justin Haley's not going for shit. Chase Elliott's got to protect something, what he's got. Justin Haley doesn't. You got to be kind of conservative with a car that ain't doing shit, that's running mid-20. You don't want to take it up there and get wrecked because you're up there trying to fucking pass somebody for 8th and then lose all your points.
If he's missing the playoffs by like 2 or 3 points in the end, he's going to look back and say, man, we could have taken 2 tires there and gained some spots.
Well, that'll give you a reason to shit on Ali Gustin again.
You've been
high on his bandwagon here lately. It's about time for you to come off of it.
I've always been high on him setting up cars. I just think he'll always he's in the.
How was that set up for Vegas?
Not
no
good.
Shit.
he's always.
He was the worst Hendrick car.
No matter what happens, he's always 4 tires and fuel, and it's like, wait a minute, this isn't always what we need, especially with the tire wear we have and how important clean air is. Like, you look at that Las Vegas race, Haley looked good. He ended up 14th, but without those cautions, I think he would have finished much better. So you look at that, it's a strategy play. I think next week is a good track for Elliott. I think if he can get a top 15 and say like 10 or more above the cut line, then I think he's okay heading into Martinsville. I mean, that's a good track for him. It was a good track for Hendrick earlier this year. I'm not sure where the speed has gone with the 9 car. It's disappeared.
I think everybody's caught up. I literally think everybody was saving their shit to when it mattered. And you see that in the 24 car.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had the 2 wins earlier in the year and said, all right, let's.
And they didn't do shit the rest of the year. They had, 1 top 10 till the playoffs got here?
Yeah.
Or 2 top 10s at the most?
It was crazy. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Because you got 2 guys that could potentially be in the championship for and win the championship with a combined 17 top 10s. Like, that's not great because Byron's got 9.
You're only saying that
Briscoe's
because of
8.
this year.
This has never been a thing, though.
And only because we almost got more than 16 winners and it became an issue because people were getting kicked out because they're top 5 in points. But this system's what it was created 4 years ago, and y'all fucking loved it till this year. Y'all are just – this fan base is just – it's all about now, and not what's worked for years, but now all of a sudden it ain't.
I think the playoffs are very entertaining, and I'm entertained by them. Is it the best way to crown a champion? Do we think so? I'm up in the air about it.
I don't like the 1 race championship. I think 2. Do it off points, 2 races.
Well, if you're going to do that, why not do the playoffs in period? Just reset it with 10 to go and let it go, like they did before 2014. And we had a chase before this model, before we done the elimination. Used to reset and let it in the last 10 races. Yeah. Whoever scored the most points won it. If you're going to do 2 races, you might as well go back to 10.
I actually didn't mind that, to be honest. I felt like that was
I don't know if it's
that. Did when Jimmy Johnson won 5 in a row.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's that I don't like the one race finish or I don't like Phoenix. I think it's more of the latter.
I don't like
We
It's
need to
Phoenix.
move that shit.
I would
It's
love
Phoenix.
Las Vegas to be the championship race.
Vegas would be nice,
It's it.
honestly.
Cool
Vegas at
market
night.
too for it. A transition Vegas race started at like 3-4 o'clock, and you'll rarely hear that from me. But started at like 4 o'clock, so you get the best TV window, have as many people watching it as possible, and have them be able
And
to
at
see
night.
a race finish under the lights. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I think Vegas has proved that it's a
We gotta fix the
phenomenal
tire
track
wear
the last
first.
few years. Yeah, I agree.
We
with
got
that.
lucky with this race. I think the teams were being really
But Vegas
conservative
has
this
been
weekend.
really good for
Other
a
than
while.
That was in practice. They caught it and they fixed it.
And, then,
Yeah.
and
So-
then they did not fix it.
Yeah. Well, now he ran
Still
that
blew
shit
time.
hard though. I mean, that was because he got pissed off and was trying to get back to the lead because he gave it up. So that was kind of. It's all about how hard you run and how much you damage these tires early, and that kind
I
of
gotta feel
sucks.
bad for him though, because it feels like every race he dominates, he loses, but every race he doesn't
Yeah.
dominate, he wins. Like,
Or finishes good.
yeah,
He's scrappy.
he is. So what else we got to talk about here? Let's talk about Gene Haas. Actually, we'll talk about Kurt Busch first. Kurt Busch officially announced his retirement. Tyler Reddick will be going into that 45 car, getting bought out from his RCR contract. And yeah, Kurt Busch said he might run a few select races if he gets cleared, but his full-time
Bucket
NASCAR
list
career
races.
is over. So what are our thoughts on Kurt Busch? It's sad that happened. You guys noticed some things, maybe some lingering concussion effects with him. So let's just go into it on Kurt Busch. Great career. Really impressive race for so many different teams, so many different manufacturers. Was able to win in a lot of different cars and had an overall successful career. Like every year he was in a competitive car, he was successful. He brought Furniture Row to prominence. You act like Martin Truex Jr. did, but Kurt Busch put it
Actually,
outside the
Truex
playoffs.
struggled that first year or two. That
Exactly.
he
After
actually
Kurt
did
Busch
worse
had done well.
than Kurt did. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was really
'Cause
kind
if
of up
Kurt
until they switched to Toyota because they got a lot of
If
money
Kurt-
back
Yes.
from Toyota.
If Kurt
Yeah.
stayed, I think he would have done the same as Truex did. You know,
Yes.
I look at them as two equal level drivers, Kurt and Truex. Which is crazy to think that if you tell Kurt Busch in 2013 at the end, like, go to Stuart Haas or go to Furniture or stay at Furniture Row, which one of those probably could get you a championship, you go, all right, see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, in that 41 car, I think what year was it? 2016. He was a championship level driver for most of the year. Led the points in the season. Didn't work out in the playoffs. He was kind of a perennial like round of 8, round of 12 guy in that point in his career. But 2004 champion. How many wins? 30.
34.
Well, I mean, 2017, like when they went to Phoenix for the cutoff race, it was literally 3 Stuart Haas drivers going for one spot.
Right.
Because that's when Harvick got disqualified at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so it literally Kurt and Eric Amarola got eliminated because they got wrecked. But they were literally running right there with Harvick, in contention to take that last spot from him for the
And that was
championship four.
2018?
So, okay, it was one of those years.
Yeah.
I know it was the year he got disqualified for Texas. So,
Right.
but yeah, he's made that car really good. I guess that was one of the good calls that what's his face made. Shit, we just said his
Gene
name.
Haas.
Yeah, Gene Haas. That was Gene Haas's decision, and it looks like we're going to have another decision for the 41 again. So
Yeah.
That 41's
let's-
just a rotating door since Kurt.
It
left.
is. Let's just go around and give our thoughts on Kurt Busch, then we'll talk about the Stuart Haas situation.
So, it sucks for Kurt having to go out like this. Kurt was pretty heel there for, about the first half of his career.
More than half.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably more than half. It was up until the
past
51 car.
2013. Yeah.
I'd say
Um,
Furniture Row is the switch.
Probably.
Well, even
yeah.
then, he had issues because he got suspended a race because he threatened a reporter again. So,
It was Bob,
it was-
wasn't it?
yeah,
Wasn't it,
yeah.
Bob?
yeah. He said, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's
refrains me
it's
from
keeping me
punching
from
you in the
whooping your
face
ass,
right now,
Bob."
Punching you in the face.
So, yeah, it was literally probably actually well into his days at the 41 car before he kind of made that switch back over to, which most older drivers do eventually. So
I think we're probably going to see that with his brother at RCR. I think
so too.
I think Kyle
probably
could possibly turn babyface. I think I could see it. But no, like he's done a lot of growing in the sport. He's a champion. He's 34 career wins, I think 33, somewhere around there. But we kind of talked about it yesterday, where we kind of noticed some things about him that were a little bit off. Tegan noticed that was it practice? They interviewed him in practice.
Yeah, when they interviewed him during the practice,
where his speech was kind of slurred a little bit and his lip was kind of drooping some. I didn't watch practice, but watched the pre-race interview with him.
I didn't watch that one.
It was kind of the same there as when I noticed it, and it's kind of concerning. Hopefully he's kind of on the right path. He explained it that he goes to the doctor, I think every 5 weeks. They do tests on him every 5 weeks, is how they do it. So
I can't believe it's that far apart.
He said that he said it sucks kind of living life 5 weeks at a time, basically, on progress and everything like that. But I'm glad to see that.
If I'm understanding right, what's keeping him out of the car is his eye movement.
His eye movement. His
and
eye
it
reaction
takes 6 months to get over. Like they literally are just constantly, his pupils are constantly moving. So that takes a while to get over. But like I said, I noticed the speech. Maybe he had a dip in his mouth. I don't know. It could literally, people talk that way with dip in their mouth and their lip. They're trying to keep it in from drooling out and shit. I don't know. Maybe he dips. But, Ryan Blaney does. It's his damn sponsor. But to see it twice, though, because I didn't watch Sunday's interview and Wessel noticed it. So I kind of feel like I'm hoping it's not a permanent, because that would suck to have that happen to you with such a small hit in this car.
Think about Dale Earnhardt Jr. Like, you go back to probably about 2005, 2006, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Like, I know he'd had a concussion by then.
Oh, way before that. He had one 2002.
But even to this day, you can still kind of notice a little bit.
Help me.
Just a little bit. Like, it's not as bad as it was, but you can still kind of notice a little bit in Junior's speech sometimes.
Well, he's had so many concussions, though, it adds up. Like, every time you get another concussion, it's like drinking. You're killing brain cells. It adds up. He knows that, because that's why he's donating his brain to science. So,
Dale?
Yeah, I've read that quite a few times, that he has made the call to, when he dies, his brain is being donated to science so they can study concussion. So, like I said, it sucks for Kirk. I think he had at least one more year left, and it would have been kind of nice to see him and Harvick, I guess, kind of ride off into the sunset, considering they had the rookie year together and they've kind of had a back and forth rivalry. It feels like they're the last two old guys in the sport.
Yeah.
They are technically, with Kurt out now, it's like Harvick, and somebody on Twitter said protect Harvick at all costs. I'm like, yeah, you're right. In this car, you got to. Everybody needs it, but Harvick may be getting out of this sport just because of that reason right there.
So, Sal, what are your thoughts? You haven't chimed in.
Go ahead.
It sucks to see anyone in any sport, any profession go out this way. But I don't think it's the last time we see him in a car. I think maybe. I think maybe.
Breaking news, Sal. What you got? Where's he racing?
Part-time stuff.
Colleague?
Nah.
No, it'll be Toyota if he does anything. I think
over Toyota. And then
it sounds like he has a pretty good relationship with Toyota. Yeah,
definitely. He's going to take an office role in 2311, I think.
That's where I was going at. I think that Denny's expressed how much he likes Kirk, that he'll be something for 2311 in the future.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about Gene Haas. He announced that the 41 car is uncertain next year. He wants Cole Custer. Tony Stewart wants Ryan Preece. And that Kevin Harvick will not be back after the 2023 season, though Gene Haas is trying to get him back. Gene Haas is really trying to get him to extend the contract. Harvick has said he's not wanting to come back after that. So what are our thoughts on that announcement from Gene Haas? I assume Tegan, you'll want to go first here.
Okay. I can see Harvick's point. He's had a long career. He's got a kid who's literally trying different cars. He's literally outside this country right now. It seems like it's F1 is what he's shooting for right now. And I remember Harvick talking about that earlier this year about how he went to NASCAR and basically told him that F1 kind of snuck up on NASCAR's popularity on their home turf, and it should be concerning. And it seems, from what I gather, Harvick, they didn't take him serious. And Harvick ain't the only driver that's brought it up either. So he's got a lot of shit going on. He's going.
I can speak to that because, like, I'm a college student, right?
Yes.
People my age, they don't come up to me and go, like, did you want, like, I'm just getting into NASCAR. Nobody's saying that to me. Like, somebody will come up to me and like, oh, I'm just getting into Formula One because of Drive to Survive and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I love it. But I think NASCAR is missing the boat here because F1 is really, really like.
I'm thinking about F1 though. It is such a money sport, and that's what NASCAR. That's what kind of killed NASCAR. That's kind of how NASCAR's gotten into the predicament they're in with this car, the TV deal, and all this shit. It was because they were losing money, teams were losing money before this, contract deal and everything. So Harvick saw that, tried to warn him. As a fan of Harvick, yes, I want to see him stay at least another year or two. I think I heard somebody tweet that only Mark Martin had the talent to drive into his 50s, and I just don't think that's true. I think Harvick does too. So, because Harvick has said it, as long as he's having fun and that he's competitive, he'll race as long as he wants to.
He's competitive. I don't know if he's having fun.
I do see this car being the issue. If it weren't for this car being such a safety hazard this year and being other shit being wrong with it, falling apart, fires and shit like that here lately, I think Harvick would be okay with maybe extending a year or two or taking it, by the year. I think this design of this car has kind of forced his hand. He's pissed off. He's basically telling NASCAR off every week, and it's not doing him no good. So I think NASCAR is kind of showing face now to act like they're caring with their little weekly meetings now, but that should have been going on in the first place. Why wait 30-something weeks or whatever it was before you did it? So, I would love to see Harvick stay, but I wouldn't be disappointed if he caught it this season after next year. I'd rather see him win 9 or 10 races again over winning the championship. If he could do both, that's even fucking better. But I would take a shit ton of wins over a championship that's decided in one race.
And what are our thoughts on the Cole Custer Ryan Preece dispute between Tony and Gene? Personally, I'm in the Ryan Preece bandwagon. I think he's 10 times the driver Cole Custer is. So what do we think about that?
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I would say I was for Cole Custer, but with all these drivers exiting the Xfinity series right now, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to take a step back and go back to Xfinity and regroup. And let's see what Ryan Preece can do in that car. Ryan Preece can get in that car and not do a fucking thing. Then it's a car or a crew chief or something issue. And, Ryan Preece had to prove it. So, I'm up for giving Ryan Preece a shot now. If it happens or not, since, we've got family connections, that's kind of that could be behind that. I don't know. I don't want to see Cole Custer boot Riley Herbst out of the car. I really think Riley Herbst has come a long way this year in the Xfinity Series, considering what he's up against and being the only really competitive Ford out there, him and Ryan Sieg. So I want to see a 2-car operation next year with him and Co. And I think Stewart-Haas would be a whole lot better off in the Xfinity Series if that happened.
Right.
So I am up for Ryan Preece being in that 41 car.
Wessel, Sal?
So the whole situation with Harvick, it doesn't really surprise me.
Are you gonna beat up that water bottle?
I got a little bit left, so yes, I will.
Okay.
Just let me know when we're done, and it'll be my finale.
So the whole Harvick situation doesn't really surprise me. We've been seeing with the last couple of weeks of him and NASCAR kind of butting heads with each other, not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. It's been kind of clear that Harvick's been pretty vocal about the future of the sport.
Well, I mean, he said it. He's got nothing left to prove, so he can talk.
Yeah,
he's right.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He doesn't have anything to prove. But it's like, man, it's kind of tough to see him go because he seems. I mean, like I said earlier, him and Kurt are kind of the last of the old guys, right?
Yeah.
The old guard,
which is wild.
I know Truex is kind of up there in age, but I don't really consider him with that group because he kind of came in.
I put him with the Hamlin.
He came in about 6. Yeah, they came in together. Hamlin and Truex came in the same year. Kyle got a year before they did. So.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know because so the weird thing with Kurt is that he was the last driver currently in the sport that had raced against Dale Earnhardt too, which is pretty wild to think about. Like, so
only by one race. I mean, it was Daytona. So
still though,
I mean, he did get flipped off by Earnhardt in that race, so that does go a little bit further. Yeah. So kudos to Kurt. He might have been the last driver to get flipped off. Period by Dale Earnhardt. So.
But it doesn't surprise me with the Kevin Harvick thing, and especially like his son Keelan racing overseas. I think I saw he just won some race over there in a kart.
A pre-final,
yeah. And it doesn't really surprise me. It looks like Keelan's kind of going the F1 route.
Right.
Earlier we were talking about the F1 versus NASCAR. F1's kind of sneaking into the United States. But like it's kind of like a sponsor thing too with like the money side. It seems like F1 definitely gets a lot more sponsor money than NASCAR does.
Yeah.
Like, and it's also
because they use a lot of their money to make them cars go fast, and that's what NASCAR is trying to get away from.
So let's think about Red Bull, who has been in both sports, right? Red Bull puts way more money into Formula One in a year than they ever did in NASCAR, and it's not even close. Like.
Red Bull didn't do shit.
And then they have OEMs like Mercedes, who is like a high class manufacturer, and we've got Toyota and Ford and Dodge, like affordable sedans.
Yeah, but there's a difference between those two. Like there's Mercedes. That's Europe's version of NASCAR, or really the world's. They're trying to get into the American market. Mercedes has no real pull. I mean, Europe, there's a lot of Mercedes. There's a lot of
If you drive a Mercedes over here, you better be prepared to have money because they are a bitch to fix.
Yeah.
You can't take it to just any little mom and pop shop.
I drive a foreign, I know.
You got to take it to a dealership to work on them bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then with the whole Cole Custer situation, Cole has not been doing good in this car ever since he stepped in it. He got a pretty lucky win, I would say, at Kentucky. In a car that you couldn't pass on, and he just happened to be in the lead on a restart.
He had 4 guys more worried about each other and like thought Cole Custer.
They were wrecking each other. Yeah.
To be honest, it was actually the only year he done good in the car,
wasn't it? Blaney bounced off the drain. But it would be nice to see Ryan Priest, jump up in that car. But kind of like what Tegan said, where they need to get somebody in that car to kind of
gauge what's going on,
gauge what's wrong with it. I don't know if Ryan Priest is that guy because he's not really proven in the Cup Series. He's not.
I don't think so either.
You want to get somebody to gauge that car, you need somebody like Kyle Busch.
But let's be honest, he was driving for JT Doherty, and Stenhouse ain't done shit in the same car, and they kept his ass. So I'm going to give some credit to Priest here. No, he hasn't proved anything, to be honest. But
I think he's
for one, he was in a 2-car operation. That wasn't the focus point. He literally spent the last year in that car as an uncharted car.
Yeah.
So that shows you what they thought of him in that car. So I'll give him some credit. Do I think he's going to go out there and light it up? No, I don't think he's going to light it up.
Didn't he also beat the 47 in points that year? I think.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm pretty sure he missed a race.
I think if Ryan Priest jumps in the 41, he does better than Eric Almirola in points.
I'll wait and see.
I don't know about that.
Yes,
I think they'd be very close. I think they'd be close.
I think so.
I think they'd be around the 20 mark. 20th in points.
Maybe.
I'll give them
I think they'll be around each other enough.
Yeah.
But right now, the 2 top cars are the 4 and the 14.
You look at Daniel
Suarez done really good in that 41 car.
He did.
He got shafted in my opinion.
I think his ride in that car was underrated. He barely missed the playoffs. and then Cole Custer comes in, gets that lucky win. But since then, he's been below 25th place car in points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Suarez kind of was underrated in that spot. Sal, what are your thoughts on Gene Haas's announcement?
I mean,
not an announcement. Just speaking to a reporter who let it out.
He gave up a lot of information to that.
He did, and I'm like, that's kind of stupid. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's like he's got a game to play. He's playing games with Tony, and then he's playing games with Harvick. And
well, let's think about who's putting the money in that 41 car. It's probably Gene Haas.
Exactly.
Right?
He's the one that made the call to put Kurt in it, and he went behind Stewart's back while he was laid up with a broke back in the hospital and made that call. So,
right.
I mean, the Harvick thing, it stinks. I like to see him stick around just because, I mean, dude clearly still has it. He can go out there and win every damn race again if he wanted to.
Especially here lately, because I really think they figured this car out.
Oh, yeah.
Especially 2311. They've taken a lot of steps this year with Kirk.
And, I mean, if it's time for him to hang it up, oh, well. If not, cool. Keep him around. Protect him at all cost, as they say on Twitter.
Put some bubble wrap around his head. That's what every NASCAR driver needs to do, actually.
For the 41 thing, I mean, we've clearly seen that sponsorship, no problem. Gene Haas has more than enough money to fully sponsor that car. It's really going to come down to, hey, who do we think could help us improve for the future? Because, I mean, with Harvick, maybe probably out after next year. Almirola, what's he 24. On a 1 year, 2 year, 24? You know that he's leaving at 24. You got
unless he changes his mind again.
Yeah. You got Chase Briscoe, who, I mean, that's a solid guy to help build your team around. And then the 41, that, like Weasel said earlier, it's just a revolving door. If they want to be smart about it, I say give Ryan Preece a chance. Because, I mean, he outperformed all of his teammates in the Truck Series in DGR equipment. That's supposed to be race winning. No one else has won except him.
Yeah.
So I say give him the shot. You got the sponsorships isn't his issue. You got Haas Automotive to do that.
But ain't that a business that's co-owned with Joe Custer?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's your problem.
Custer's the president of Stewart Haas Racing, so that's
the main issue.
And he's also got money into the Haas automation too.
Right.
So that's
why Gene Haas
some of it.
Keep him.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd like for them to just give someone else a chance. And
yeah, because I think
let's nip this in the bud. What they should have fucking done a couple of weeks ago is sign fucking Kyle Busch. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because fucking money talks, apparently. Stewart and Gene Haas didn't want to give up the fucking money. So that would have been a dream team, to be honest, with Kyle and Harvick next year. Even with Harvick just doing another year, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have elevated Stewart Haas so much. I think it would have elevated more quicker with Kyle at Stewart Haas than at RCR. So
right. All right, so let's go into our final thing of the episode so T can get ready to smack that water bottle up. We're going to do our picks for Homestead. And my pick for Homestead is Tyler Reddick.
Shocker. You went on a limb on that one, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Tyler Reddick. We'll go Wessel, Teagan, and Sal.
I was also going to go Tyler Reddick, but it feels like too easy of a pick. That feels like a layup. I feel like another one that might be a layup, maybe Larson, because those are two
you motherfucker.
Those are two guys that are pretty good
I knew that was
running the fence, so I think my pick's probably going to be Larson.
That was going to be both my picks.
Look out for Denny, though, too. Denny's a name I want to throw out there.
Denny's pretty good at Homestead also, yeah.
So who's that leading me that's good on the hotline?
I'm changing my pick. I want to change my pick. You can have Larson. Give me Christopher Bell.
Oh.
Okay. And he don't have to win. He's only 20-something points out. He can literally point his way in the next 2
Clutch.
weeks. Yes. That's not a bad one either.
No, I like the Toyotas at the 1.5 miles.
On long run, especially, that's when they really fucking. I mean, it's literally flipping a switch compared to everybody else. While everybody else literally drops, they're gaining speed. It looks like because they're so good on long run. Fuck it, I'll go with Larson. Just I want to see. I want to hear the cheers if Larson wins this weekend because of the Bubba shit that happened. So I want him to look like he's the bigger person, even though he's 5'4".
All right, Sal, what do we got?
Kyle Busch is going to get his last
Ooh,
win.
I kind of
That's
like
good
that,
there.
though. What? He's won there twice.
He has one there.
Yeah,
twice.
but he's been in the sport for 20 years, so
I think
Yeah, but we picked
gets
people
his
that have
last
won there
win
at
there.
all.
true.
Larson's never won there, despite how godly we think he is there, which he is. He has never won there. Hamlin has not won there.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, he won there a couple years ago.
2020.
No, he won there.
2020, right? Yeah.
When they ran
I
another
forgot
race
about
there, yeah.
Yeah. But that's our picks.
By the way, am I the only one that's not against 2 Homestead races?
No, we do not need another track having 2 races.
I think 2 races should be going away.
I mean,
as
honestly,
soon as
at this
possible.
point, do we need to
I don't
go
think
to
it should go
Martinsville
away,
twice?
but
Not
With
for
this
certain
car?
tracks. I don't think we need Homestead.
I would go to Homestead twice before I'd go to fucking Texas twice again.
Or Kansas.
And maybe even
really,
Martinsville.
honestly.
If this Martinsville fit race ain't fixed this fall race, after next season, that race, one of them racetracks should go. One of them races should go because you cannot run a short track at Martinsville and not be able to get to somebody's fucking bumper. That defeats the whole purpose of a short track, and it defeats the purpose of NASCAR redoing Auto Club, which I think is fucking stupid. So
really dumb.
they've turned this car. They've totally flipped the script.
Yeah.
These cars really sucked on 1.5 miles and 2 miles. Now I feel like the 2 miles and the 1.5 miles, this car is awesome.
It is
Road
really
courses, it's too fucking good because they don't wear
The problem, the
and
big
short tracks
problem,
are shit.
the big
Even
problem
Bristol.
with the big problem with short tracks and road courses is the big ass brakes
and
and
shipping.
5-speed transmissions.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
And the big tires. The big tires don't help. They need it. Harvick's saying it all year. 1,000 horsepower. When they're going to North Wilkesboro next year for the All-Star race, he said that race is going to be shit.
Oh, what about
don't
Dodge?
do
by the way?
1,000? Didn't they stall that?
Dodge. Yeah.
We didn't talk about Dodge.
We didn't. I forgot to do that last week. Dodge not going to return to NASCAR most likely. Their talks with NASCAR have stalled.
The horsepower reminded me of that.
Yeah,
Which is
I don't
stupid.
really-
What's
Yeah,
stalling
Dodge-
it out?
I just think that the interest
They wanted to
wasn't
focus
there.
on NHRA.
Yeah.
Which is high horsepower. And
that's where
NASCAR's trying
Star
to
Wars is at.
lower their horsepower for more
To
OEMs.
get more
to
manufacturers
support.
doesn't make sense. Like we did Toyota, we were at high horsepower when Toyota joined, and Toyota didn't make like a car like that. So I don't.
Now,
what's funny is Dodge makes engines for road cars that have more
Fast, with
horsepower
more
than what
horsepower,
the fuck
yeah.
we're running now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't
shit, they
think
all
they
do.
care.
Yeah.
Hell,
I
don't
just
my
think-
Camaro get more horsepower? Almost.
They do not make Toyota does not make a street engine. I don't think the
No.
Super even has one that's more than 600
No,
horsepower.
Super's in like
There's
the
no way.
400s maybe.
My Camaro is
Camry's fucking
560 or something like that. So it's pretty
Toyota had it
damn close.
last year.
I can go out there and run the short tracks and not wear my tires.
All right, well, I think it's about that time once again. Oh, hammer it. Let's go. Take us home. This music is so nice. It's just relaxing. You want to just lay back in your
I
chair.
don't even hear it.
Let's not cramp this time.
Oh, damn.
Ow.